Switzerland is regarded as one of the cleanest countries in the world. Business Times recently ranked Zurich and Lausanne among the 10 most livable cities worldwide. So does this mean the Swiss don't produce any waste?
Of
course the Swiss also produce waste. Quite a lot of it, in fact. In terms of residential waste, around 400 kilograms per person. But we recycle 200 kilograms of this. People sort their waste at home, separating out metal, cardboard, paper, clothes, shoes. There are no fewer than 21 products and materials that can be collected and brought for recycling. The other half is taken to waste-to-energy plants and incinerated. The newest waste-to-energy plant serves the region around Lucerne and was commissioned in 2015. It's called Renergia, reflecting the idea of recovering energy from waste.
You have a lot of energy recovery, as the name says, waste-to-energy plants. We have about 700 kilowatt hours of electricity per ton, and we have 1.5 megawatt hours of heat per ton of waste that we treat.
Together that gives us the high energy value. Waste-to-energy plants are now the third largest producers of electricity in Switzerland, accounting for just under 4% of the power generated, after nuclear and hydroelectric. It's been forbidden to dispose of combustible household waste in landfill in Switzerland since 2000. Part of the reason it has been completely prohibited since then is that a better solution has been found. And the solution is waste to energy.
You don't have any methane emissions, which have a very high greenhouse potential, and we don't have the leakage water problem that gives a contamination to the groundwater.
At a waste-to-energy plant, the first step in the process is delivery. We already get an idea of how sophisticated modern technology is, with underpressure in the plant preventing odour emissions.
The waste is delivered and stored in a bunker, is mixed, and then is fed into the incinerators. We have 2 incineration lines. The incinerator has a temperature of about 1000 degrees Celsius and only needs air. You don't need any external energy to burn rubbish, because the energy content is high enough that the material burns itself. In the boiler, we produce steam, high-pressure steam, as it is produced in a coal power plant, and then brought to a steam turbine, where we can generate electricity.
In addition to 29.5 megawatts of electricity, the plant produces 32 megawatts of heat, supplying cheap power and district heating for some 38,000 households in the region. Moreover, Renergia provides the neighbouring paper factory with process steam all year round. This saves the equivalent of 40,000 tons of oil, or 700 train carloads of fossil fuels every year. Effective incineration doesn't just have an impact on energy efficiency. It's also the first step toward ensuring optimal flue gas treatment and low emissions.
This third, it's about a third of the plant, is the flue gas treatment system, where the acidic fumes and the dust of the flue gases are removed in several steps.
Here in the first step, we
see the electrostatic precipitator. This is where the solid particles are taken out of the flue gas. The flue gas then passes to the fabric filter.
In the fabric filter, more than
99% of the gaseous flue gas components are taken out by injection of additives such as lime or bicarbonate. Here we are at the catalyst, where the remaining components of the flue gas are neutralized. In the final step, the clean flue gases are cooled and released via the stack at a temperature of around 80 degrees Celsius.
There is no smoke coming out of our chimneys. What you see is the steam coming out of the stacks, and you only see it in low temperature. When it is warmer than 13 degrees Celsius, you don't see anything. The emissions of modern waste-to-energy plants are irrelevant compared to other emissions that you have out of coal power plants, from the traffic, from heating systems, from ships. The emissions are negligible.
Die Anlagen werden dauernd und automatisch
The
überwacht.
plants are constantly monitored on an automated basis and checked by us.
Die entsprechenden
The technology is state-of-the-art, delivering values that are all well below the limits imposed in Switzerland.
deutlich tiefere Werte als die Grenzwerte.
This latest cutting-edge technology restricts the level of nitrogen, for example, to just 40 milligrams per cubic meter of exhaust air, half the permitted limit.
Milligramm Stickstoff pro Kubikmeter Abluft.
These checks are in everyone's interests.
And there is absolutely no danger for people living around us. In Europe, these waste-to-energy plants, big waste-to-energy plants, are situated normally in the middle of the cities. Paris, Hamburg, Berlin, Zurich, Vienna.
Die Akzeptanz in der Schweiz
Waste to energy is broadly accepted in Switzerland and has become fairly well established. Plants are now no longer a problem in terms of air or noise pollution.
kein Problem mehr.
In Switzerland, waste to energy has established itself as a key component of modern hygienic waste management. Rather than being seen as an alternative to recycling, it has become part of the recycling process, and an important part at that.
Ja, es ist ja grundsätzlich schon so, dass man Abfall vermeiden soll. Das ist ja das erste Gebot.
Basically, it's best to avoid producing waste in the first place. But if our consumption does result in a lot of waste, we have to ensure that we give it a second life. In other words, we have to recycle and recover energy.
Und es ist auch wichtig, dass wir bei dem Prozess, wo wir
As part of this process, we should concentrate our efforts on not producing any pollutants and not wasting any energy.
Energie verschwendet. Ich selber würde
In terms of air and noise pollution, I really would have no problem living next to a waste-to-energy plant.